Okay, I think we are live. So, top of the morning to you. It's 4 a.m. for me. Um, yeah, I slept all day. Anyway, as my man the Axe says, sleep is for the dead. So let's stream. This is obviously improvised. I haven't really planned anything. Thanks, Mike. Welcome, welcome, my loyal viewer. All right, so echo voice, really? Strange. Let me see what's going on, eh? Hopefully it's better. I don't know why that would be happening. It shouldn't be happening. So let me know. Um, yeah. Can you hear me? Can you just maybe lower the volume a little bit? But it shouldn't be. Nothing's different. Alright, in any case, hopefully it's all good. It's working. Oh, it was Discord. I see. Yeah, yeah. Discord, like I love Discord. It's so useful, but it messes with my streams. I actually usually turn it off. It like tries to create some sort of overlay for like the streaming of a stream or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's one thing I don't love about Discord. Anyhow, since everything is working now, I'll just show you what I've been working on, which is mostly this material, this like broken tiles material, uh, and I will show you my reference, which is, oh shoot, I forgot to do one more important thingy. I haven't woken up yet, okay? Here we go. There you go. So, yeah, this is the material I've been working on. I saw a video by Johnny Notes on YouTube where he went over some like potential improvements and stuff that you could have while working in Substance Designer on something very similar. For example, he went over how to improve some cracks and how to introduce variation and stuff like that. Turns out a lot of his advice was, I would say, not applicable, at least not to this material, where he goes over how to taper the cracks. I think that's actually not how it works at all, and it won't help you. It's an illusion. What it does, it instead of like tapering the shape of the cracks, making them larger, it makes the grout larger. And that's not what you want, not necessarily, right? So it looks as if the cracks are getting bigger, but they are not. So like, actually, that's one criticism I have of Johnny. Also, he spoke about, for example, the tiles like caving in into the middle, but that's not actually how stuff works in reality unless you drop a bowling ball on your tile right in the middle. It's not necessarily going to cave inside, right? Like it can cave like to the side, or it can like pop up. It all depends on what kind of material you're working on or working with. So that's also one thing that I actually found out wasn't that helpful, but he goes over a lot of interesting stuff, and that inspired me to um, make something similar. And so I can show you my reference, which is mostly this image, right? Like you can see that there are like hairline, very smooth cracks, and there is this amazing grid which with a lot of like dirt and some like loose tiles and holes and I don't know, pits everywhere, and I don't know. And I would like to like you can see that I'm like not there yet. I've mostly finished the sort of the bottom layer, and I spent like 2 days on figuring out the best way to make cracks for this material. It's still not perfect. I think I could like, this is obviously too dense. It's not as curved, not as smooth as I would like. Uh, you know, uh, so like this has a certain Voronoi feel to it, obviously. Like this is obviously Voronoi, so this is obviously Voronoi cell. But this right here, that's really like difficult to imitate. I guess there is only so much one can do. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time on this, and the biggest issue is that I have like a lot of flat fills that are randomly removing fragments from the material. But at the same time, and for that you need a black and white mask. But if you do a black and white mask for the cracks as well, they are going to be super thick. So yesterday I spent like, I don't know, 6-7 hours fixing that, and hopefully it's finally acceptable. I still need to introduce a lot of height variation and uh, uh, like a finer dirt layer for like the bottom part, for the grout part. Also a grout maybe. That's something I want to experiment with. It would obviously have to be removed in the parts where there is no there are no tiles, obviously. And to do that in a meaningful way would like probably it's probably like a complex effect actually. It's not just like that you take these like the mask of the grout and like fill it in, because that's going to be everywhere and you don't want that. You need transitions, you need breakup, you also, but at the same time you need to sort of remove it only where the holes are. So that's like complex masking, stuff like that. I also created this effect. I'm still not 100% like happy with it. Basically, it's from a different reference. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here. Yeah, it's like the top ceramic part can sort of break away, and you will be left with the, again, I guess ceramic, but unglazed ceramic part, like at the bottom, and then you have the grout, right? I I'm not entirely sure what this is. This is obviously outside, right? And there is this like dirt layer here. I don't know what it is. So you have the like the base thing, which is probably some sort of, I don't know, if I were to guess, some sort of brick, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it looks pretty bricky to me. I don't know. Then you have this dirt layer, and then you have the tiles. And there is actually no grout as far as I can see. So this is probably like a garden tile floor. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's I found that interesting. Also, one thing to notice about a material like this is the difference in roughness, or say in like surface damage, right? Obviously this brick part and this like revealed part has a lot of this dirt, and you can see it here. There's like a lot of height displacement going on, but this is pretty much smooth. Maybe you have some dirt specks on top. Maybe there might be some, yeah, exactly, some kind of patio. Yes, yes, that makes sense. Yeah, patio. What a lovely word. I love that word. uh, yes. So what was I saying? Yes, there won't be like a lot of scratching, a lot of like indentation or anything. Uh, and like I have reconstructed a lot of apartments in my life, and yeah, the no matter how old the ceramic tiles are, they tend to break, obviously. They tend to lose their uh, like you know like they are not leveled, right? They will like bulge a little bit as the as sort of the ground layer, or the background layer, or whatever the underlayer under I don't know what to call it. The as the foundation bends as well, especially if you have them vertically. If they are on the wall, they will like lose their cohesion over time. But yeah, they are always smooth. It's an interesting material. And what I'm actually looking for too is creating this marbling effect again. If you remember, I made a marble. So that's yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. It's gonna be a lot of like directional warp and some what's it called? flood fills, more flood fills. Actually, this material uses like 20 flood fill effects. It's kinda a lot actually. All right, so I'm not going to start with this because I also want to talk about some news from Abstract, which is the Polyverse tool set. And let me just hide this. Let me open my web browser. So Polyverse. Polyverse is an asset sharing website, which I hope is also going to become a market in the future. And it's a mix of tools, right? Like it's obviously an asset sharing tool, so you can create libraries, you can create depositories of your assets, and it can be anything. It can be models, it can be textures, it can even be InstaMAT packages. That's new actually, and you can share them with your team. They can stay private, or they can be public, right? Plus, InstaMAT or Abstract themselves, they also add a lot of models, a lot of materials and all that. So if you have a look, this is all from Smithsonian. I'm sure if you go to smithsonian.org or edu, I don't remember the website, but you can find a lot of 3D scans from their museums. And it's quite amazing, right? Like you can have this. I think it's is it Philadelphia or Challenger? I don't remember. Discovery, actually, Discovery. I don't know. Is Discovery the one that did not explode? Probably, right? If they have it in a museum. Anyhow, so there you have the space shuttle here, and yeah, it's a very famous model. The 3D scanner on Smithsonian has like a couple million polygons, if I'm not mistaken, and so they somehow processed it using probably InstaLoad and maybe InstaMAT, and you can actually use that. And what's nice about, or actually what can be nice about Polyverse is that it's actually also an online processing tool, both with AI and, for example, something like an InstaMAT package. So you have something that's called polytrons, and polytrons is like a currency that you can use to process your assets, and you can build like some really advanced pipelines where you like chain a lot of operations and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Let me just go. So you can see they actually added a lot of new materials just yesterday. You know, some metal roofs, stuff like that. I imagine these are made by InstaMAT or in InstaMAT, and you can use them as such. So if I go here, you have the preview. That's a nice tile roof. You can set how the quality of your preview here, and you can download it. You can optimize it for artificial reality. There is a lot you can do. I don't know everything yet. Yeah. And so what I actually did to test it was I created a small height map generator. Right now it's bugged, so I'll have to remake that. There is a bug in early access InstaMAT right now. It's going to be fixed in the next release. It's already fixed for guys who have access to the studio version. And I'll just make it in a different way. Voidberg, one of the developers, suggested yesterday on Discord a simple way of fixing that, and I'm going to show you how to do that because it involves using some random number generators in the element graph, which I actually completely forgot that you can do. Anyhow, so we are going to fix the Pebble Generator 1. We are going to make a new one as well. I want to make another one for smooth pebbles, something that may be in might be found in something like a riverbed or something like that. Yeah, we are going to collect some reference for that. Build a very simple graph. I'm sure you know that making pebbles is actually quite easy, but I want to make it into a generator that I can then upload to Polyverse for everyone to make use of if they want. So that's the plan. Also, I have just woken up, so I might be a bit slow and all that. Bear with me. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Probably not. So thanks for watching, I guess, and let's get to it. All right, so actually I started the Pebble Generator project for this graph. It's these little specks here, right? Like little pebbles. I also saw something like that in my reference, so I decided to make that, and it made sense to create a subgraph for that. And once I was at it, I realized that it might be a nice test for the Polyverse. All right, so we have a Pebble Generator. Basically, let me open the graph. What this is that I make 4 random basic shapes. I pack them together using the style node, which is bugged right now, so we are going to remake that. And then we do a lot of warping, non-uniform blurring, slow blurring, warping, just to get some more interesting shapes. Then we grayscale to mask it. Oops, let me make this bigger. So this is already like a little bit of a pebble shape, right? Flat fill it, and then there is this beautiful flat fill to gradient end pass. Normally, what you would see in Designer is that they would take a lot of flat fill to gradients, like 4 or 5 of these, use the settings, and then multiply them together, which is essentially what, or using a minimum, blending them together using a minimum, which is exactly what this does, but it does it automatically. So you don't have to like create 5 of these, and you can set the passes even higher, so you don't need you don't need to manually set up 10 different flat fill to gradients, but you have one that does it automatically using the NPass, the loop system in InstaMAT, which is glorious. I love this one a lot. So we are taking these gradients, which gives us like a little like sloping effect on the stones. Yeah, I think I'm using the minimum blending mode here, just like you would in Designer. Then we are not uniform blurring it with itself, which gives you like these little variations. And then this is first setting that I have. I'm using the color dodge blending mode, which essentially will just like create these like flat tops if you blend it together. So if I change the flat tops, and no sexual puns intended, okay? You can see that it like flattens the top a little bit. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I'm using a lerp because I didn't want it to go linear interpolation. So basically, I'm setting a soft maximum for this. Like yeah, I can go higher, but it's always going to amount to, let's say I go to 200%. I can do that, and then it's going to be like 1.6 of a blending mode. You can actually go above 100% blending in the blend node. Sometimes it's actually interesting. You can get some interesting effects. For example, here you will get like a really flat pebble, right? But I didn't want that to happen every time. So let's say I think my value was like 60% by default, and then I like in general I think you shouldn't go over like 80%. So I created a lerp. So 100% will equal 80% for the blend here. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, then I'm blurring it a little bit to soften it, right? Like it's just a small thing. These pebbles are not meant to be like large-scale details. These are not rocks, right? Like if you remember, for the sand material, we created like a large-scale rock that covered about 1/3 of the material, or the texture tile. This is not the case. So I'm actually limiting the processing of these nodes to 512 by 512, which is more than enough because the details are going to be super small. Even on a 4K texture, I doubt that this is ever going to be larger than 256, 256 pixels. So yeah, that's why I'm limiting most of it to to 512. Anyway, by the way you can do this, you go here, element format, you set an absolute size here, and then type your size there. Of course, if someone wanted to execute this even lower, this is actually going to execute higher, I think. I'm not sure, but you know, I don't expect people to go as low either. Okay, then we are introducing some slope blurs. Basically what this does is it like takes the input. Oops, do we have the input here? And blurs it a little bit. I don't know, it's very subtle, but it's introducing like little, yeah, little height variations here and there. We are going to keep doing more. So I have this very strong, sharp Voronoi texture with some subdivisions and all that. I actually limited this to 512 as well, so you can see it's quite jagged, but it doesn't matter. Again, like it's going to all like interpolate very well. And so this actually creates these like fairly sharp chipping effects. Again, slow blurring with a minimum, quite high intensity, stuff like that. Then I have this cloud swirly, which is essentially your source noise with maybe some clouds. I actually found this cloud swirly or the whirly noises are quite useful for like minor detailing and some interesting chipping or like sharper slow blurs and directional warps. I discovered this by accident, so sharing that knowledge. I guess like I use it for dirt, for example, in the tile material for like really fine dirt displacement. I'll show you later, I guess, maybe. Not sure if I won't go through the entire tile graph today because it's too complex, but I'll show you some things. All right, so yeah, more indentation. If you look at the input here, it's pretty much straight, and here it's like we are really introducing these sharper chipping effects, I guess. And then just to finish it off, I introduce a stone noise, which is some kind of reclosum, I imagine. And yeah, and we are just like subtracting it from the surface. It's going to create this fine grain here and there. Again, I'm not too concerned with like it looking very stony because it's gonna be very small in the resulting graph. And now this is what's actually bugged in. Well, this is not bugged. The tile node is bugged. There is a problem with scaling in the grayscale version. I am not going to explain it because I don't understand it fully. But essentially, what I'm doing, I'm taking this packed atlas. Really, it's like a grid, 2x2 grid, and I'm cropping each quadrant out, which gives me 4 randomized segments, pebbles, right? And just for the visualization, I am using height to normal, and this gives me a preview of what the pebbles might look like. Yeah. Again, it's like it's not too convincing, right? At this size, which is like a 4K size, right? Like this is 1024 by size. And I don't need that, you know, to look super convincing at this size. So that's fine. So how would you use that? Well, it's very simple. Let's go back to our tile material. You can see that I have this package imported, and it gives me 4 random pebbles. Well, all you need to do is to get a scatter node. It doesn't have to be guided scatter. It can be something like less powerful. Let's just say random scatter. We can do that as well. Let's turn it into grayscale. Let's go to the pattern section, which is where you can specify the number of inputs. Let's set this to 4. And we just need to plug these in. Yeah. And then we can play with the position, randomization, rotation randomization, size randomization. Oops, I should probably keep it like this. We should probably say preserve ratio so that it doesn't get stretched, right? And yeah, and you have a double scatter setup. And so I intend to make a couple of these for like different visuals, and then, you know, someone like you can just go to Polyverse and download it, or even like create a random map themselves that they can bring somewhere else, let's say even into Designer or something like that, if they so wish. Of course, why would you do that? You can make the same thing in Designer, but that's it. Yeah, that's how this little generator works. And so what we have to fix here is this section right here, because right now, as you can see, I have it set to 1 by 1, which is weird, right? Like, because we have a 2 by 2 grid. What it does, it somehow mishandles the inputs and creates like a yeah. I'm not going to explain it. You can go to Discord and see what Voidberg said. Essentially, what we are going to do, instead of using the randomization in this style node, we are going to randomize the transforms here and then pack it using the Atlas grid instead, which is just a very simple grid packer. Yeah, you could actually say like I want more shapes. Let's say 9. 4 is more than enough for us. So we are going to do that, and there, oops, not absolute size, grayscale. And there is there are some random number generators that we want to use to drive the transforms of these nodes. So here we come. Yeah, I'm gonna drink a little bit, think about this a little bit. So I guess what we need is a random vector, or rather a random number for each of those transforms that will drive the rotation, and that really has to be anything from like 0 to 1 in radians, or maybe 0 to 30. Actually, what is this in? It's in degrees, so something that like maybe 0 to 360 random number generator. Yeah, 0 to 360, which will drive the rotation. And then we need to figure out the scales. The issue is that, okay, I could make it uniform, but I'm actually stretching these shapes, right? Like the scale is not uniform. You can see that like the only uniform thing here is this, because I'm using the width and height here, and we don't have that setting here for the polygon. The polygon is like regular. So I guess that's one thing we have to figure out, is how to like create ranges for each of these parameters separately. Shouldn't be that much of a problem because it's really like a vector, basically a number with 2 numbers inside. So we just need to set the range for each of them separately. Yeah, and that should be it. We don't have to do any transforms or anything, like any translations. Actually, maybe for no, we can do this. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe it would be a good idea to limit the rotation on this trapezoid, because it might go like if we overdo it. But it's not too bad, right? Like it doesn't go outside of the tile, so that should be fine. All right, let me drink. So I don't know if you've ever worked with something like geometry nodes, or I don't know what the equivalents are in 3ds Max. I know there is a procedural node setup, and in Cinema 4D as well. It's not as difficult as it sounds. You just have to like understand some basics of vector math. Like it's not Houdini level craziness, right? Like it can be. You could be a VFX artist, and you have to understand all sorts of like vector fields, math, and all that. I don't think that's necessary. In fact, what we are going to do is just a very simple randomization, and we don't even have to do any like too much data type handling or anything. So let's see what we have. So we have random number float, random number vector 2, 3, 4. Integers, random number vec 2, 3, 4. What is this IVEC? Generates a pseudo random number in the min and max range. I guess that's what we want, because this generates. What's the difference between IVEC and vec 2? Random. I guess we want this one. What is this blue thing? I don't know what IVAC is. Yeah, but what we want is this for the scales, I guess. And we also want one for the rotation, and I guess we need 4 numbers, so that's probably vector 4, random. Random vector 4. Whoops. I just used the IVAC again. I don't know what IVAC is. Like for split, array, slice, append, resize, set, slice, no, assign, also no, get, all these getters. What's it? Oh, it's random number vec 4. Okay. Yeah, that's what we want. So if we press shift space, it will open up this. Open this up. Actually, do we want this one? Can't we use float? Is there like a float, random float? It's only this, and that generates only 1. Okay, so we need this and maybe convert it into a float for the rotation. Let's see how that works. So what we want is to set this to 360 for the rotation. Now let's find the rotation socket. Rotation, 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 rotate here. Can I just plug it in? No, so we have to transform it into float. So to float, float. Or like we have to split it. Yes. Okay. So splitting means that we like here we have the vector and it's like x, y, x, y, z, and w values. And all we do with the split node is we extract each value separately. And now we can just plug this into the rotate. Boom. Boom. Rotate, and W is here. Rotate. So that should have randomized the rotations. So if we change the seat on this, yeah, it's changing the rotation here. So we can already start plugging this into our Atlas grid. And now we need to create a few of these for each of those scales. So it's nice that it gives us a range already, so we can actually handle these separately for each one. So what we need is 4 of these, I guess, for each shape separately. Lovely. So what was the maximum here? Or like 0.75 on the minimum scale in X. So we get X and we say 0.75 and maximum is this. And the other one doesn't get scaled at all, so maybe we can introduce a little more variation here. Actually, how much variation did I have here? 0.15, let's say 0.15. So maybe we can, oh, it's probably fine. Maybe we can actually go higher than this for the scale. Let's say, no, but then it could clip into the edge of the tile, which is something we don't want. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. So we need to plug this. If you drag the connection and hold it over expand, it's also going to expand the node in question. So we want to plug this into the scale. Boom. Yeah, that worked. That worked. All right, I'm happy. It worked. Maybe we can increase the maximum to like 1.1. That should be safe, right? Let's get something very stretched here, just for a preview purpose. Like so, it's too small maybe. Like this, and then we can randomize the rotation to see whether it... Yeah, everything is fine. It's never going to clip. That's good. Alright, so next one. Boom, copy, copy, and copy. So the second one, yeah, there isn't much, so we just keep the 1.1 here, and maybe do point... we can actually leave it at that. That sounds good. So let's go different side scale. This one we really don't care about rescaling, so let's just give it a bit of a scale. I don't know, 0.9, 0.9. And this one I actually made bigger, huh? So let's do like 0.2, oops, 1.2, 1.2. I guess I could have locked it. And the minimum 0.8, 0.8. Expand to scale. That's it. So that should be it. I think in general we made them a bit bigger, but that's fine. Yeah, maybe, yeah, because we actually upped the size here, so I guess we could lower the range to something like... Actually, let's just play with the seed first to see. Yeah, we made them bigger overall. So let's lower this to like 0.6 maybe. Yeah, that's actually more variation than I had before, I think. It's lovely. So again, play with the seed. Yeah, I'm not disappointed. Actually, I get more interesting shapes on the trapezoid overall. Yep, that worked. Thanks, Voidberg. Beautiful. What is this problem here? Oh, because it's not a grid. Yeah, but we don't care. We are not using it for... Sorry, it's not an atlas, but we are not using it as an atlas. We are just using it to sort of pack it together so that we can process all these shapes at the same time. All right. I guess, Mike, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and copy this project. By the way, thanks for the tip. I forgot that it exists. You know, you can copy a project. You can make a backup copy. Basically, you say save a project copy, Control-Shift-N, and that will create a new copy of this one, and you can sort of work on a new version of this. I wonder if I should expose these parameters, at least the scales, maybe, but maybe not. Okay, okay, Mike. Yeah, so it's actually very simple. All you need is these like random number generators. You need to beware of the correct data type, right? And the pink ones, those are vectors with 2 numbers. This one is a vector with 4 numbers, but I'm only using that instead of like I could get a random number float, and I could make 4 of these, right? With the same settings as here, but this is simpler. So that's that. And yeah, this is it. And then basically we are packing it in, doing our transforms, doing a little bit of flood fill with this MPass to MPass gradient node, applying some more distortions, and then we are basically cropping out each quadrant, each sector of our grid, and we have pebbles. That's it. All right, so I'll save this for now. I won't go to Polyverse and upload it yet. because I want to make the other one. So for that, I guess I'll go online and I don't know, smooth, pebble, mm, river, something like that. We go image. Oh yeah, these are the shapes I'm looking for. This is going to be very simple because there won't be much of a... It's basically a capsule, maybe a circle, maybe an ellipse, and maybe a little bit of smooth distortion using something like Perlin, like a large scale Perlin. So I don't even have to look at much of the reference, but let's take a couple of images. Like this one might be good. I'm not going to bother with coloration because yeah, because that's like not my intention to create a full-blown Pebble generator. What I want is just to have a little bit of height differentiation here and there. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to use this for my tile project. Probably not. But you know, it's a good exercise. I can't speak. Sorry. I forget to breathe when I stream. You know, it's fine. It's fine when I teach, but it's pretty bad when I stream. Okay, these are a bit more distorted, or it's like a mix, right? Like we have these. Well, let's keep it as a reference as well, in case we want to add more variation. I mean, let's take this one. Ah, that's low quality. We don't care about this. I mean, how much reference do I really need, right? It's a pebble. Okay, that's it. So collected a little bit of reference here. Let's create a copy. Save project copy. And yeah, so actually maybe it's easier to create it from scratch. Yeah, let's create it from scratch. It's also a good exercise for me to learn. So what we'll need is a shape generator times 4. 1, 2, 4. That's how math works. 1, 2, 4. And so we want something like a capsule, maybe. Or let's start with a circle. Then let's go with an ellipse. Then what's good? There is the capsule, yes. And maybe vesica? Vesica? I don't know. Lens actually could be interesting. But it's too sharp. Or maybe another capsule. Okay. Alright, so first things first, we actually go back to this and copy the randomization setup. I don't want to have to do that again. So yeah, we want this to be the rotation. I can't see anything. Okay, here. Rotation. Come on, what's happening? InstaMAT. Rotation. Rotation. And a rotation. Rotate. Boom. And then we want to play with the size on this. Actually, if we randomize the size here, it's pretty much an ellipse. The question is whether it's worth it. I mean, let's just change it into a circle then. Yeah. Okay, 0.7.7 scale. Maybe even more. Yeah, I have to do it this way. So yeah, you need a random number for each of the shape generators, obviously. You can't just do this because it's going to generate the same number for both of them. So it would look the same, right? Like the rotation is different because it takes the rotation from a different number, but it's the same shape. We do not want that right now, so we do this, which is almost the same anyway, but I guess here it's stretching it the other way, right? But it's fine. Okay. Yeah. I don't even know if like 4 shapes are necessary for these kinds of pebbles, but why not? Let's keep it the same. Oh, I actually failed to copy this one. Okay. Okay. So I want to play with this. I guess the width should be, the height should be bigger. What about this? The width. So, all right. So that's our shape generators. And we want to pack this into an atlas grid. Oops. Okay, I don't like how this works. Can we? Hmm. It's way too to the side. Because this is the rotation. It's also way too big. Alright. Alright, so it's okay. I wonder if we could like limit the size of this all, because we really don't need much resolution on this. But how much does it really take? It's super fast. Like it doesn't matter. The noises are a bit more problematic, but that's fine. Actually, if I go to my alt tiles floor and I limited the execution to 512 for the whole thing, and it takes 42 seconds, huh? That's actually quite a bit. 42 milliseconds. If it were 42 seconds, we would be there, forever. I wonder why that is. What actually takes so long? Show me the performance. The notes. 4 seconds on the stone noise, that makes sense. 33 seconds on this slow blur. Are you kidding me? Why? So this is the culprit. 30 seconds on another slow blur. I guess slow blurs are like... I get that flood fill and the end pass takes a long time, but... 48 seconds on all three of those. Yeah, I don't get it. Sometimes the performance, like, why stuff is heavy and why it isn't, eludes me. I do not know. Well, whatever. Alright, so. So let's... How do we achieve... Like the bending of the shapes, that's not going to be a problem. That's basically a Perlin noise directional warp. But how do we achieve like these like super soft sloping shapes? I wonder if it's actually better to start with something like a square, a box, or a rectangle, and like soften it over time instead of starting with round shapes to begin with. You know, like right away. I don't know. Let's see. Let's do some initial warps. So let's try. I don't know. Let's just blur it first, right? So do we do non-uniform blur with some Perlin, some fairly low scale Perlin, maybe 4 or 5. Oops. Okay, so that gives us this. I mean, that's kind of what I want. We can play with the angle as well, but it doesn't make much of a difference here. The intensity should be fine. I don't even care about the stepping here, right? Because I don't know if you can see it on stream, but there is a stair stepping thing. Basically what this does is it creates a cascade of blurs. And yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. So I guess these are already going to be like the sloped sides. So we just need to warp it a little bit. What did I do here? I guess I did some slow blurs, yes. But we are not going to use anything like crystals, right? It's too sharp. Okay, let's get a slow blur. Maybe even slow blur it with itself. Oh, actually, that's too intense. Let's slow blur it with itself. Set to minimum. And crank the intensity. Invert the direction. That's basically removing the... Okay, that does make sense, yes. So what kind of pattern? Let's get noise. Noise. Voro noise could be nice. Maybe some cells. Cell. Cloud, cellular noise. Use this. Invert it. Try this. It's too sharp. Softness. Okay. I mean, it's already too much, right? Now let's just use another Perlin. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh la la. Okay. It's a minor sensual moment there. Okay, we don't need as much resolution at all. Let's just say absolute size 512. And here as well. Okay, do we do any additional warping on this? Maybe a little bit of a directional warp. Again, we could maybe use this Perlin and this, and like so. Do we even? Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right. So that's like our initial deformation. Then we need to get the flood fill going, right? So basically we histogram to mask it. Sorry, we grayscale to mask it. We histogram selected. We get the flood fill and the flood fill to gradient. But this time I think I'm gonna be, maybe I won't even use this. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it's just a question of not doing this at all, right? Like maybe we just introduce some non-uniform blurs and be done with it, because again, the pebbles are super smooth, super round. Like this is basically a circle. Okay. Well, let's introduce some more. This is art, after all. All right, so let's at least try it. So, flood fill, grayscale to mask. This is fine. These shapes are not bad. Not bad. Yeah, we can leave it like that. And let's do the flood fill to gradient entes. Okay, minimum is fine. Again, position of variance. Let's add a bit more. Pass variance, position of variance, that's maybe too much. 5 passes minimum, 3 maximum. I think if we do less, we go like 2 or 4 maybe. Yeah. Angle step 15, angle right. Okay, by the way, there is this input step and pass step difference. I think I looked into the graph and I think I understand what it does. So the input step will change the angle of each gradient by a certain amount. You know, so you've got 4 passes, and so it will every time it will shift the gradient by 15 degrees in this case. If you do the pass count or the pass step, I think it's going to like increase that with each pass, instead of just like picking a random range of like 50. I don't know if I can explain this. Let's open it again. So it's here here, right? So you either have this like angle step at 15, or you have the pass count, which multiplies the number by the amount of by the index of the pass. So if we are on pass 7, it's going to give us a number that does what? That probably like divides. It probably divides this 360 degrees, if I were to guess. Yeah, it's a float divided by float. So it's just a different way of randomizing it. Instead of like picking a random value by like 15 degrees, you can make it more random with the pass count. I guess we can do that. The difference will be very minor in this case. Yeah, like there's really no difference. Just a bit of math going on. All right. Okay. And that's it. That's it. We are pretty much done with this. So I guess I could auto level this. Does that make a difference? A little bit of a difference. Okay. I mean, is that worth it? It's probably not worth it. So next, I actually did some non-uniform blurring there, if I remember correctly, and that creates these like flat tops. But I don't think I'm gonna do it this time, because that's not in our reference at all. So let's just keep it like this. Question is what else we need to do. I think we need to handle these like sharp gradients, because if I do height to normal right now, you're gonna see that we have these lines here, and that's obviously not what we want. So I think we need to do a non-uniform blur, and maybe with itself, maybe some asymmetry, and Anisotropy doesn't really matter too much, but let's try it. Well, that's fine. I think that created these shapes that we want. So again, let's say height to normal, see what we get. Yeah, that's much better. We still have some stepping there, but we are going to do a bit of blurring at the end, obviously. Yeah, nice oblique shapes. Might even go more intense on the passes here, maybe 7. That's too much. 6. Yeah, that's too much. Just do 4 minimum pass count to. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Now what do we want? I guess we want to create a little bit of surface damage or a surface differentiation. Not that it's going to be visible at the size, but you know, whatever. OCD. OCD. So that's that. Yeah, blurring. Yeah. Okay, we can actually already set some outputs. So that's going to be our normal. So that we can see it here. So one trick to remember, if you just preview the height channel, it's not really going to help you. So for example, if I create an output here without this, all you see is the color. The displacement is there, it's just that it's very subtle right now. If I increase the displacement factor to its maximum, go back to the viewport, I think we should see it. No. You see there's like very, yeah, the displacement isn't really there right now. I guess I would have to say height. Yeah, that works, right? So the displacement is there. It's just really difficult to see. So, but if you add the normal output, that's much easier to see, yeah? So there you have it. All right, let's actually preview this on a plane. Let's get some more light in here. Where is this stupid? Half of my settings disappeared. Why? Here. Oh, okay, because it's small. Actually, let's keep the displacement high for now, so that we can see what we are doing. It's still, I'm still working in the normalized color space or like range. So you, no matter how much displacement factor you get there in the settings, it's still going to be the same map, right? So this is fine. I can just preview it like this. Yeah, better. All right. Anyway, let's reroute image. Yeah. All right. So what do we do next? I guess we add some blurring, overall blurring. Maybe 5%. Yep. Yep. And we proceed to some warping. I've lost a lot of the shape that I had before if I don't do this. If we just take this. But this is very flat. So now, this is fine. I think what we need to do is to introduce a curve. I think this looks okay. Okay, we do a little bit more of like chipping and warping, I guess. Although there probably isn't much need for any chipping anymore. What does our normal map look like? It's almost too split in certain. Let's see another seed. Maybe the end pass is just not a good idea. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. All right. This rises. Okay, that's fine as well. Yeah, I don't really know if I need to add anything more except maybe some subtle surface detail. This is pretty pebbly as it is. I'm not going for the super smooth look of this because, you know, anyone can make that really. I mean, I could make another one with like super smooth looks, which is essentially just a little bit of a distortion of the original elliptical shape. Well, let's do something like this. This looks good. So, like these chip damages. So maybe we could take something like, I don't know, again, water noise. Maybe some cell noise, actually. So, fractal some cell, it could be good. But something very small, frequency low. Yeah, it looks good. Frequency gain. That doesn't do anything. Oh, because it's the frequency. It's, no, never mind. Auto level. Maybe we slow blur it a bit itself. Using, yeah, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. Maximum intensity. And then we also non-uniform blur it with itself. Yeah. I don't know, just a random grunge thingy. Probably need to auto level it. Okay, I wonder what that is. It looks like it's almost like some sort of polyester or some biological shape, right? Like some cells, quite literally, cells, you know, cells, cellular noise. Funny. Anyway, uh, what do we want to do? We probably want to slope blur it with an input. Yep, but it's way too fucking large. Sorry for the swearing. Maybe we actually add a little bit more detail. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. We want to say minimum. We want the intensity to be way low. Okay. Maybe blur it a little bit. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. Nice. 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 Nice detail. Yep. That's good. Okay. I need to remember the setup. Okay. Probably don't need much of a thing here. Yeah, that actually made it even better. Okay, and now let's add maybe some stone noise, but just maybe fractal, just fractal or clouds smooth even. Just get clouds, let's blend it in, and we only want it to apply here, and oops, oh my god, I can't click anything today. Alright, and we want to say subtract maybe, but just a little bit. No one's going to see that, but why not, right? Sharpen it up. And I think we are done. So, the final step is to crop these shapes out into inputs, sorry, into outputs. So what we do, we basically get a crop node, and we just align it by quadrants. Oh my god, why is it not? There we go. Okay. So we move this. If you hold shift, sorry, if you hold control, it will snap to the edges of the transformation texture tile. If you hold shift as well, it will snap to like 90-degree movements, and it depends on what you grab. If you grab the which side you grab of the transformation widget. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, let's just snap it to the corner. Just try pressing shift and control, you'll see what it does, right? Okay, we have our shapes, and now we just need to set up the output. We don't even have to do, so it's just expose, and we have to rename it. So it's a Pebble 1, Pebble 2, Pebble 3, and Pebble 4. And we say normal. Can we say like normal preview? Is it going to mess up with the... It doesn't. I guess that's fine. Alright then. Let's give it a color. Okay, maybe we can actually save it. Oh, if you are in the image picker UI, you can just drag and drop colors from there to your swatches panel here, and then you have easy access to them. I started using that a lot because I like to color code my graphs. It helps immensely with the orientation. All right, there we go. We also give a like an info. And I guess we are done. So now we have to set up the information for the generator for the material. So I'm just gonna copy what I had written here. So first of all, the categories. This is for the library. So it's going to create a category of DKNS / generator / pebbles, where this will be stored. So when you search for it next time, let's say Pebbles, you can see that it's like the DKNS folder with the generator subsection and the Pebbles, all the Pebble generators there. All right. I think I have a duplicate because one is from my library and one is for the one we have in our package. I'll have to fix that, but it's fine for now. Okay, so that's the organization for the quick search and for the library. Then we of course need to add some info. So I'm actually going to improve this. Let's say import the just import the node into your element graph and plug the Pebble outputs into a scatter node. Use pattern setting to define the number of inputs. That the normal map is only a preview. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, we haven't defined any parameters. So parameters need to be defined. I guess there really isn't much that we need to define here though. It's such a simple shape, there really isn't much to... I mean, maybe something like warp amount here. I mean, it doesn't do anything, right? Like maybe if we override this to 5. Yeah, we could do that. So we expose the intensity, right? And we so that's the warp intensity. Is there a word such as warpiness? Let's say warpiness. Warpiness. All right, and we open it in the UI, in the variable editor UI, and we say that the maximum will be maybe 5. So if we go to our graph here, and we go... 5 might be too much. It's still an interesting pebble. It's just very warpy. It's like we left the realm of smooth, water eroded, or abrased, or whatever. What does water do in English? Water washed. shapes, so maybe that's too much. Let's say 4. So if we what am I doing here? Yeah, and that's gonna be 0.5 as default by default. All right, and the surface damage, maybe we could. So if we don't introduce any, and if we, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it unexposed. The value seems just right, and I don't want anyone to mess with that. And the surface damage, we are subtracting 40% of this. I'm also gonna leave it unexposed. There really isn't much to do here, unlike the previous one, where like you got like different shapes based on how much you chopped away or chipped away from the stone. All right, that's it. One last thing I want to do is to adjust the metadata. Obviously, it's me who created it. I have to say BKNS design. And you can also say more, and you can set up the preview image, which I should do probably, because otherwise it's showing the normal. It might be better to show something else, but you actually have to like export the image and like then have it in the package. I guess I won't do that, but you can also specify the tags, which works for obviously for the search engine, but it also works for like your command line access, your API access for InstaMAT when you use the Studio version. So I think I'm just gonna copy what I said here. And I'm just gonna say smooth as well. Okay. So yeah, that's essentially it. Now there are a couple of things we can do. First of all, we probably want to save this into a library. In which case, I'm just gonna save project, no, save package. But that's actually, yeah, you could save the whole package, but in this case, the package is actually this old tile floor package, and I don't want to have it in there, right? Like I don't want to add the whole tile floor into my asset library. So what we are going to do is we are going to cook it. Cooking can mean two things. Essentially, it's just like finalizing the project. If you want to create a tool, let's say a paid tool, right? Like let's say something way more complex than this. Let's say you have a set of amazing branch generators, right? And you spend 2 days on that, and you want to get paid. In which case, when you cook the project, you can. Oops, I'm showing my path. That's not good. You can specify that the users won't be able to open the project, right? They won't be able to make changes anymore. So let me just save this. Okay, save. Right now you see it, right? Like prevent opening the package or allow opening the package. Well, in my case, I'm just going to say allow. Why not, right? All right, now, that's what we have. I also want to re-export this fixed version of my Pebble Generator, so I'm just going to say cook it. Again, I'm showing my paths, that's not great. Okay, I'm gonna save it. There. I want to replace it, that's true. Allow opening the package, okay. So now that I have made all these saved versions, what I actually want to do is to fix my thing here. I only want to bring the projects here. By the way, we have changed this. Does it still look good? Still looks good. Spider changes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we have the Pebble Generator. Now we have so many versions of this, right? I think I'm gonna restore it, InstaMAT. So let me just quickly. And we are back. So I have a duplicate here, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete the Pebble Generators as they are here in this project. So I'm just going to delete this, and I'm going to delete these, and then I'm going to bring in my cooked projects from my library. All right, so let's delete that. Let's delete those. Oh, it's referencing it. This is always. The Pebble Generator 1 is referencing it. Why? All right, let's try this again. Maybe we give it a different name. Save for now. Then we delete this one. We say delete, yes. I'm gonna go into my library real quick. Delete this one. Rename this one back to 01. Alright. And if we go Pebble, I think we now have to restore InstaMAT again. I'm not too fond of like all these dependency issues we get. Maybe it's just me doing something wrong, not understanding the relationships, because it's quite complex, right? Like you can have a package referencing multiple projects, but then you have a project that's itself a package. If you open it just alone in your library, it's a bit of a mess, in my opinion. But you know, it must be very complex. It's not a criticism or anything. Okay, and so if I say Pebble, now we only have the one we want. Okay, so let's get Pebble Generator 1, which is the one I used. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and here we go. We have our pebbles again. So that's fine. What we can also do is we get Pebble Generator 2. Yeah. Strange that the normal map is different. I guess it applies at least for the normal preview, it applies the displacement factor. It has to. Yeah, that has to be the only reason why this is happening. So I'm just gonna actually open the material package after that and fix that. And we have a typo here, so we are also going to fix that. And now we should have smooth pebbles. Do we have smooth pebbles? Oh, smooth I think. Yeah, these are sharper. As you can see, the difference is not that big. I guess if I scale them up, right? If I do, and then let's really scale them up in 5, and you can see that they are really like they don't have this kind of distortion this one has. Let me just reintroduce this one, and we can also like turn off the warpiness, or punch it, right? If we punch it, we really get like these stretched shapes, which can be interesting. Those look almost like fragments. Okay, it's not the most impressive thing I've ever made, but you know, I guess if you really want to have like naturalistic, realistic looking pebbles, you can always just get a scan. They are everywhere. You can go to texture share, for example. They have pebbles, and you can go to maybe some paid websites. I'm pretty sure Polyhaven has some assets like that as well. Not sure if they are photo scanned, but you know, there is so much you can do, or you can pay for something. It's not a big deal. But you know, for a quick height map creation, instead of going through this process every time, it's much easier to just import one of those, right? So also we should limit the resolution on these. I'm gonna say absolute size 512, 512. The same goes here. Okay. I'm actually going to be using my original Pebble Generator. And we cranked up the size, which we didn't want. Maybe a little larger then. Actually, a little larger looks better, right? It's more interesting. Oh, the difference is so subtle. Okay, OCD. All right. So let's go back to the second Pebble Generator. Actually, I have to shut down my InstaMAT again. Why? Can I just open the package here? Yeah. Da 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 da. We want to fix the typo. We probably also want to displacement factor, desolation factor. That's fine. Why are the normals so fucked up? Regenerate preview. Nope. The normals are definitely fucked. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I guess it's because the shapes are so oblique, so smooth, there is not that much of a difference in height. That might be it. I don't care. Alright, so one last thing we are going to do. I guess we won't get to the tiles material today, or maybe, I don't know. We are going to upload these onto Polyverse. So let's open Polyverse. As you can see, we already have this one, and I want to update it, right? So let's get oh, by the way, let's get our free tokens. These tokens, they are the polytrons, right? This is what you pay with for the processing power of the website when you run some of the AI optimization stuff, stuff like that. I think there is some internal, like you actually don't pay per task, you pay for milliseconds or for the processing power itself. So yeah, if you optimize a huge mesh using their optimization tools from InstaMAT, it's gonna cost you more, I think, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, right? But you have all these artificial intelligence tools. That's generative AI. You know, personally, I'm not a huge fan of generative AI for pretty much anything, but I mean, I use ChatGPT to ask questions sometimes about like specific technical stuff about, you know, in 3D. I have generated some images, but I was always disappointed, and I never even use them as a reference anymore. And obviously, like the whole debate of like copyrights and creativity and, you know, general AI slop exploding, and like you go to Pinterest and you can't even find real images anymore. But that's fine. I'm not going to rant right now. You also have these processing things that you can do in InstaMAT, you can do in InstaMAT, and these softwares are free unless you use them for like larger commercial purposes. I think you have to make at least $100,000 a year with those tools to have the professional license. I won the professional license in the competition, so I have it. But either way, it doesn't matter. You can use this online to do some baking, to create quick previews, render previews. You can optimize meshes, meaning you optimize the amount of polygons and bake some textures. Basically everything InstaLot and InstaMAT can do, you can do with their tools. You also have the library here with the amazing InstaMAT materials and new materials that are not yet in InstaMAT. As far as I know, I don't think these are in InstaMAT yet. And of course, you have the models from Smithsonian, and there are probably some more models that are going to be uploaded by the abstract company, and of course, eventually users. So I imagine this is going to be a big thing. And if they introduce a marketplace aspect to this, where they don't just like charge you for the processing power, but they also allow you to sell assets to other InstaMAT users, it's gonna be a big thing, and I really hope that takes off, because that would be a nice passive income for me personally. I would love that. Of course, their main customer is always a studio, right? A studio here can use this as a sort of a cloud storage workspace where they can share assets and do versioning and stuff like that, while also making use of the processing tools. Anyhow, so let's enter our library. I have this DKNS generators library set up. You can create more libraries. For now, we have this one. And yeah, when you open it, it will ask you for information, stuff like that. We are going to edit it somewhere here, edit it. And I would like to copy some of the information I had added. Right now, it doesn't get the information automatically, so you have to fill it in yourself. It's not a package public. I wish I knew how to spell this, because it would be like it would be nice to say height map generator here. I don't know how to do that. Can I just type this? It's not a package generator height map. I wonder if that works. We'll see. We are also going to copy the tags. Okay. And I think we have to upload the version to enable this feature. How do we upload a version? Follow asset pin asset. Upload new version. Okay, here at the bottom is upload new version, and you just drag and drop your InstaMAT package. So in this case, that's gonna be this guy. Okay, now it's gonna be loading. To make this version visible to all users that have access to the library, or to embed it on a website, publish it by pressing the rocket. Okay. Alright, so we just say yes. This is gonna be published. Please fix the following validation warnings in order to publish the asset. What? Oh, it's pre-processing. So we have to wait until it gets processed. All right, we can wait for that. And I will, maybe we can publish now. Okay. So that's number 1. And we also create operator number 2. So, alright, so the category cannot be changed with the backslashes, huh? Okay, I'm not too familiar with the UI. I'll save changes, right? Okay, that's saved. There was an error saving the asset operation not allowed. The asset version is already published. Okay, that's fine. All right, and so we add a new one. Upload asset. Select asset type, install a package. So you can do a lot. You can do a 3D model upload. You can do materials. You can do environments, basically an HDRI. But you can also do images, JSONs, all sorts of weird data stuff, audio, video, and the RSX engine, the game engine, abstract game engine stuff here. I haven't tried any of those, but you can do quite a bit. So install a package. Drag and drop. Start the upload. Okay, and we just have to fill in the description again. We have to put in the tags. Okay, and we can launch it. Publish now. And so now we should have 2 generators. Beautiful. Yeah, I would like to edit this asset. How do I do that? Here. Edit. It didn't save the... Or did it? Like, it's strange, right? Like, I have the old description here and no tags, but here is the new version. What is going on? And when I click on it, it just does this. It might be a problem with the Polyverse. Ah, now it works. All right, so that's it. So imagine, right? You have 10, 15 materials you need to share with your colleagues, maybe even a client, right? This would be a way to do it. You want, let's say in the future, you have, a small shop here. It would be interesting. Let's say you have a few things you need your studio to have access to online. Let's use the cloud. You could do all sorts of things with their processing tools. Let's say you download the Smithsonian space shuttle. It has millions of polygons from the scan, and you need it optimized, but you don't have InstaMAT on your phone, obviously, right? So, well, let's run the stuff with the Polytron, and you should get an optimized mesh automatically. Stuff like that, you know. I think this is a pretty cool tool to have. It combines the best of a cloud storage, a marketplace, and an asset library, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. Obviously, these two tools, quote unquote, it's like uh, no one cares, right? And anyone can make this, but and like it's only specifically useful for people who need to scatter something in an element graph, and those people, again, specifically, very likely know how to make something like this. But it could be a time saver, you know, like you create a library of alpha stamps, brushes. You create a library of simple material bases. Let's say every time you want to make like a metallic material, instead of like using one that's already like super finished from the InstaMAT library or something like that. You just get your favorite base and then build on that in layering or even in element graph. Let's say I could now share all the NPass graphs I have been playing with. You know, it's like the Ringify and the array along the line or online and stuff like that. I could just share it with you guys. And I think I'm gonna share some of my older materials just for educational purposes and to experiment with Polyverse. So I think that's what the future holds for us. And with that, I think I'm going to take a break. I'm not going to stream anymore. I think I need to focus to be able to work on the tile material. It's really there's a lot going on, and like I'll talk about it sometime in the future, because it especially the cracks and the masking of the cracks really gave me a lot of trouble, and in the end I had to sort of duplicate my entire process to be able to handle the cracks separately from the height map, or rather from the masking of the removal of the fragments from my height material. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to stay focused and not talk about it. So hopefully this was interesting, at least to Mike. But maybe sometime in the future you guys will upload your own stuff, share with us mortals your amazing creations, your amazing tools. A while back there was a guy, I forgot his nickname, but he created all sorts of interesting patterns in InstaMAT and share it with guys. I actually have them on my desktop. I'm not going to show you my desktop, but I have them there. Maybe I'll ask him, and if I can remember his name, and we could upload it as well. There was like a Pebble tile generator and like a waveform node that he adapted from Substance Designer. Alright then, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon, maybe on Sunday. Let's see how it goes. I have a wood material to show you, and I also have I will have the tile material finished, hopefully. So, bye-bye.